Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. As we all know, Arma Reforger update 1.3 has recently dropped, and I thought what better way to put the mortar to the absolute test and, do some experimenting when it comes to the damage on infantry, on vehicles, and really just try some experimenting, having infantry inside houses, close to windows, behind, concrete walls, behind fences, and just kind of see, how far we can go showing its damage, if it even does any damage, and really just go down to the knuckle and experiment as much as we can. As always, thank you so much for all the support. I cannot appreciate it enough, and I hope you do enjoy the video. So to kick things off, we'll just start off with infantry in the open. We'll start back a bit, and then we'll move our way towards closer and see how close it takes to do some damage. So no damage there. I'm not gonna. Don't ask me how many meters this is gonna be either when I do this, because I really have no idea. We'll move it a bit closer now. Unconscious. Wow. Okay. So you could say that would be 20 meters. I don't know. I really don't know. That's unconscious and taking half health, 50% health from that distance. So we're gonna go a bit closer now. Yeah, that's instant death. I was honestly expecting that, but probably 5-10 meters, instant death, nothing around you. So we're going to move on to objects now. Behind objects like this is a great example. Concrete block. Let's test this out. Nothing. Wow, okay. Interesting. Let's do it again. Nothing again. He was crouched down that first time, so I was kind of expecting a different result. But no, nothing. We'll go kind of next to it in this tub. Nothing again. Okay. What about this dumpster? Nothing. Next to it. Wow, nothing again. Alright. This is actually turning into being very interesting. Nothing. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to start switching it up a bit. So inside, just outside a window. Any damage? Oh, that one hit the roof. No damage still, that's okay. Again, no damage taken. Okay, so this is starting to tell me something. Let me just try to find a couple more things to test on first, before I kind of make this assumption. This should definitely do no damage on the other side of this. What we've gone off. Yeah, no, nothing. Where else could we go? What about inside this little cylinder thing? Can we get him in here? Yes, we can. Let's go next to it. Oh my god. Alright, so look, a couple more places to test here, but I'm starting to get an assumption, and I'll explain it in a minute. Yeah, no damage again. I'll explain my thoughts on what this is in a moment, like how this is actually, yeah, no damage. How the developers work this out. Now look, I'm going to go straight off the bat and say I have no idea how a mortar works. I've never been fired upon by one. I've never had one explode near me. But doing these tests right now, even as you can see, this small brick wall, it's doing nothing, just on the other side of a mortar exploding. Now, anybody who has, I hope not, in my comment section, had a mortar fired at them before, whether this is accurate or not, or anyone who has fired one before, I'd love to actually hear it if this would be accurate or not. But again, this is a game, who really cares? Do this wooden fence. Nothing. Bro, this weaker fence has got to do something. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Nothing. Alright, so this is my explanation. So what I think this is, if your body is covered by an object and a mortar hits on the opposite side of that object, or, your body's covered from where the mortar is striking and landing, you're not going to take damage. Now, I don't know if this probably isn't making sense, but again, on the other side of this fence, it's see-through. I think you'd take damage, but see, no damage taken whatsoever. So if you're covered, like another quick example, look, this bin just here. I'll move this guy behind the bin. Again, he shouldn't take damage if what I'm thinking is right. No damage again. Yeah, so your body being covered by an object or behind an object, from where the mortar lands and strikes and explodes, you're not going to take damage. Again, this makes sense in my head. I'm probably not making sense at the moment. But from the video that I am showcasing, I think you kind of get an idea on, what I am trying to explain and what I'm trying to say. And it does make it hard if, as a developer, I think Bohemia, there'll be a real fine line on trying to code this, as in, trying to make it realistic as possible where you do take damage, when you're close to objects and such. If they take that away and they try to fiddle with it a bit, it could relate to you could be inside a house and then a mortar explodes outside and somehow you take damage. I just think as a developer it would be extremely hard to make it as realistic as possible, which is understandable, but again, I'm not a game developer. From the video itself, I think I am making sense. Or maybe I just don't make any sense whatsoever, and I don't blame you. Like, in my head it makes sense what I'm trying to say, but I'm probably talking complete garbage, and you probably don't understand a thing what I'm saying. But, from the video and this testing, I think you should get somewhat of an idea on how they work out the damage on these mortars. Okay, so now we're just going to move on to some of the vehicles really quick. I don't want to make this video too long. I hate making long videos, so we'll try and make it quick and short. We'll go from the front, see the damage taken. Then we'll move it towards the side and the rear of some of the vehicles. So this is the off-road vehicle. So a little bit close there, and that's done a little bit of damage. About, what's that? About 25%. 25% damage to the two front drivers. The passengers in the back were fine though, so they kind of blocked the impact. So I'm just going to talk over the rest of the video now and kind of explain what I did. So the light vehicles like this, the off-road and the light utility vehicle on the US side, if you took mortars to the front, side or back, it was doing damage no matter where you hit it. Obviously to the occupants inside, which I was kind of expecting for the vehicles that they were. The one thing I did notice, no matter what vehicle that was being used besides the LAV doing this testing, no matter what, every mortar shot in the front was doing damage to the front, the driver and the passenger in the front, about 30%. That was the same for all vehicles. Now, when we moved on to this, the light armoured Humvee, this thing was a beast. This took a lot of damage up close and was not damaging the occupants inside whatsoever. You can see how close I actually do end up getting to this, and still it was damaging the vehicle, popping the tyres, but it refused to do any damage to anybody that was inside. But again, it was doing, as all the other vehicles, it would do damage to the front, but anything to the side, to the back, no matter how close you got, was not doing any damage. We moved on to the ambulance. Ambulance, same thing. Mortar shot in front, it was damaging the driver and the passenger around that 30%. But like the armoured Humvee, this thing was a beast, taking shots right next to the side, right at the back. It was protecting all the occupants inside, not doing anything. I even went as far as going to the transport truck. Again, same thing, damage to the front vehicle drivers. Obviously being uncovered, this thing done a lot more damage with the mortar the closer it was, occupants not being covered. Now the LAV-25, this thing was an absolute beast. Now I did everything all around it. It did everything to protect the occupants inside. I even went as far as seeing how many shots this thing could actually take from a mortar direct hit. Now depending where the mortar would land, it would kill the occupants inside. As you can see, a mortar above the people in the passenger seats in the back, killing them. But overall, this thing took about 7 or 8 shots before it caught fire, which was an absolute beast. Now I did test the armoured Humvee and the ambulance as well, seeing how many shots it would take, and they were pretty strong as well. Direct mortar hits, it took about 2 to 3 shots before they caught fire. Now look, I didn't go as far as testing the helicopter, because look, let's be honest, the odds of you being hit by a mortar are close when a helicopter's landed. Look, I think it's very slim, so I didn't even really bother testing that. But overall, this video, it was extremely fun to make. If you've got any ideas on what you might think, possibility, or some more ideas what I could do testing with the mortar, I'd love to hear in the comments below. As usual, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.